This video is going to show you how to solo farm Last Wish, the Kalli raid boss for red border weapons and Last Wish weapons in general. For those who just want to see that and skip the timestamps. So before you start, you need to have two different builds, right? So for me, it's build 9, build 10. On build 9 and build 10, the build is exactly the same. Weller Radiance, Phoenix Dive, Incinerator Snap, Solar Grenade, aspects I you see on the screen. I'm not going to go through every single one. I'll give you some dim links. I will say the key components of the build are Ember of Ashes, Heat Rises, Incinerator Snap, Solar Grenade. Everything else is interchangeable. However, Ember of Searing and Mercy are a backup fragments to get a melee recharge if you need, because it's critical you get your melee back. It is so critical to the build. Have as much strength on your build as possible. Forget about resilience. You don't need any resilience in this because you're not actually fighting per se. You're just doing DPS. Forget about resilience. You want all strength, all discipline. So your first build you're rocking will be a Witherhorde, bipod rocket, and whatever secondary DPS weapon you use and when you do swap, which I'll talk about in a minute. But bipod rocket options you have are Braytech Osprey, Apex Predator, Cold Comfort. Pick one of them and then double reserve a plate, a secondary chest plate. Triple reserves don't stack. Don't let that fool you. Just double reserve. So I picked Braytech Osprey. So I've got a double void chest plate. It just means when you swap to your second build, you'll have more ammo for tractor cannon, which is a debuff, and you're gonna have plenty of ammo for heritage and Cartesian coordinate because you won't have used the weapons previously anyways. So you're going to have ammo for secondary DPS. Put taken spec in those. If you don't have taken spec, you can still get away without that, right? But also, what's critical to the build is having transcendent blessings. Now you can do this without transcendent blessing, but transcendent blessing or Riven's curse is going to add 5% extra to your damage. So I'm getting 10% bonus. But if you had a transcendent blessing in every mod slot, you could get maximum 25%. So it is possible for that to happen. It's going to make it more consistent, but I would just recommend at least 2 to 3 transcendent blessings minimum. It just means that it takes away your stats. You can't put stats in though when you do this, so just bear that in mind. If you don't have any transcendent blessings, you can get 1 per week through the weekly Dream and City quest, which there are more steps to that, but if you really want to know how to get transcendent blessings, then just ask, I guess, and there's videos on it as well. The mods don't matter, only for the gauntlets, really, and the class B. So double momentum transfer helps us get our melee ability back. We've got melee kickstart, we can utilize that if we do get armor charge, and double outreach, so that when you use your class ability, you get melee ability energy back. We've got some orb mods on the boots, doesn't really matter. Nothing else really matters apart from what I've really just told you. So that is the builds that I used for this. So we're going to use a raid banner first of all, of course, with double void reserves in my case. Just match your element to your rocket. We're using the first build, which revolves around the bipod rocket and the Witherhorde. Witherhorde is on to help you trap the boss. How Kalli works is that this trapping mechanic is that you need to do damage over time to stop her from moving. So get a Witherhorde shot on after the shield is taken out. Make sure that you hit it for consistency. Go to this plate here, and the boss will spawn at this plate, which you need to get a solar nade down as soon as possible, and then get a melee to recharge your Sunbracer grenades. Make sure that you're floating in the air quite a lot, but also while you're doing your DPS with your nades, that you step on the plate, because stepping on the plate spawns in the ads. You need the ads for the build to work. You also need to keep doing your tractor cannon every now and then. Don't just keep, spamming it, but every now and then, when you're not getting yellow numbers, right, then you need to be using your tractor cannon. Also, like I say, you might spawn a fire sprite, so if you mess something up slightly, then at least you will get your melee ability back. But the build is sound. As long as you've got momentum transfer on, and you're in the air like this with heat rises, then you're going to get your melee ability back, and you're just going round in circles. You won't get this first go. You'll need to learn basically the positioning and what you're doing exactly. But once you've learned it, it's an easy farm this. Your Weller Radiance and your special weapons are backup DPS weapons for final stand. That's what they're for, right? So, like I said to you, the more transcendent blessings that you have, the easier this is. the less nades that you would probably need to throw at the boss to kill the boss. With 5 or 4 transcendent blessing mods, you're going to melt her. You've got 2 minutes to do this before she wipes you. And she's got far less HP than Ghost of the Deep bosses, the dungeon bosses have. So we'll finish off with our secondary DPS weapons, but that's how you would solo farm this boss for Last Wish weapons. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.